Hey guys, Rick back again down here at the layout. Made a list this time so I can go through this quickly. Just wanted to say a couple thank yous. Sparky, thanks for Sparky 107. Thank you for the shout out on your live chat on Wednesday. That was awesome. It was good to see my face up on someone else's screen. I got a bunch more subscribers that night and a bunch more views. So awesome. It's getting up there, and I appreciate you putting my name out there for me. That was great. Wilmer from Indian Head Valley Railroad. I actually found there were a couple people made some comments on my past videos that said, Wilmer sent me here, or Indian Head Valley Railroad sent me here. Just wanted to say thanks. Thank you for putting my name out there and getting a couple people over to check things out. That was awesome of you. I am a subscriber to your channel, and I love your videos. I think you're hilarious. There's a lot of the frustrations and things that you go through, we all go through, and you've made it work, and now I'm trying to do the same. So thank you, Super Wilmer, for that. Appreciate it. Vinny, you did the same for me, just like Sparky. There was a shout out on your Friday night video that I wanted to say thank you for. By the end of that episode, I had a bunch more subscribers, and I'm pretty sure the view count went up, and thank you so much. Also, Vinny, thank you for the tip for flipping the camera. I don't have any fancy camera equipment. Even my laptop is so old that it doesn't have a camera on it. So I'm just using my cell phone to do all this with. I never intended to do videos, so this is kind of like all that I have. But the fact that you stopped and gave me a tip to say tilt the camera, anything to make these videos better, I appreciate it, and that was a good heads up. Thank you, buddy. Second thing, I wanted to try and keep my videos really short. I noticed that, like, when I'm at work or when I'm out somewhere and I get the notifications that somebody popped up a new video, if I look at it and see that it's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes long, I know that I don't have the time at work or the time while I'm out to watch it. So I usually mark them for later, and hopefully I get back to them. I eventually do, but I would rather watch them when I can. So for you guys, what I'm going to do is try and keep these short, like maybe 10, 15 minutes, maybe at the most. Hopefully I can get more videos out for you guys and not take up too much of your time all at once. So let's see how that works. And you guys definitely let me know if you feel any different. Couple things I wanted to share. There were some questions on some previous videos that I wanted to answer. The first thing was from BNSF Richard, was asking about my DC bus. So obviously I've got a DCC train yard with a DCC bus that's running around, but I also have a DC bus under there that controls my tortoises, right now my LEDs, and different things like that. So I want to put you guys on pause for a moment while I crawl underneath the layout, and I'll show you how I got all that hooked up. Be right back. All right, look at that, speedy return. So here's the big picture. I know you probably can't see that well enough, but that is a DC transformer. It is 12 volts and 12.5 amps. So that's what's putting out the power to my DC bus. It has a very simple 112 volt AC power cord that goes into it, and then two wires come out supplying 12 volts of DC. I've got going into one terminal block, which splits off and actually is running up into, I'm not sure if you're going to see this well enough. I hooked up a switch here that controls my LED lights. That's running off of that bus. And then also there is one that's going inside the layout up top here that controls my switch 8. I'll show you that in a minute. And there's actually another one going down here, which is supplying another bus that's going to supply some things, power to some things under the layout. So hang on for a second. I'm going to go under the layout and show you the actual bus, because right now I'm just in here with my Helix. All right, be right back. All right, I apologize. I don't have any lights down here, so I'm working by flashlight. But I just wanted to show you the DC comes in from the other block and goes into this block. I'm going to feed from here. I don't have any need for it yet, but I'm going to feed more going down the end of the layout. If I tend to put anything down there, and I will, I'll be putting signal lights down eventually to control some of the track down there. But right now, that's where my DC goes on the bottom half. Right now, that is controlling the switch 8 that is down here. That's that guy there. I'll explain more about that. And it controls the power for all these tortoises down here. So let me go to the upper deck where there's a little more light, and I'll show you the switch 8 because Sparky had a question about those. All right, guys, so here I am on the underneath of my upper deck, and what I wanted to show you was the switch 8. Now, what I did was these switch 8s are actually, they're pretty neat. Clear mine. So right now I've got mine set up. They control 10 switches. There's only 8 ports up here, but I actually have 2 of my tortoises tied in with 2 other ones. They're controlling crossovers, so there's no reason to turn one turnout without the other. So I just reversed 2 of the tortoises, and they are running in the opposite direction to throw the crossover. So these are very simple to set up. So you take 2 sets of wires coming off of your tortoise, the 2 power terminals, and they get plugged directly into one of these 8 ports here. There are 2 little screw holes per tortoise. So you get 8 of them. Very simply, there is a button here that you can control each individual port. So as you can see, as I hit that button, it scrolls through all 8 ports. So when I hit this button and put it on my first port here, it will actually start scrolling through and on the display here and tell me the number that is programmed excuse me, to that tortoise. So for me, this is accessory number 202. If I go to the next one, you'll see this is accessory 103, and so on and so on. I can go through every single one of those for you if you wanted to. If you wanted to program any one of these, you would light up which one you have the wires into, and then there's another button right here that you would hit, and then this display will turn to the letter P, obviously for programming. Once you do that, you have exactly 1 minute to throw a command to assign that number to a tortoise. So for example, once you hit that button and that turns to a P, you go to your NCE throttle and you hit select accessory. You put in the accessory number that you want that switch to be, whatever that turnout is that you're gonna select, and then all you have to do is either throw or set the turnout to normal. Whichever command you throw, it doesn't matter. It's then going to accept it here on the switch 8 Mark II, and then that port will be that accessory. So again, I've got 10 of them set up. 2 of them are doubled in as crossovers, but I've got 8 different addresses now as accessories. I've got one on my under layout and one under the bottom layout. I meant to say upper and lower. So that's how that works. Now, what I did, going back to my DC bus, I ran a cable from my DC bus to come in here and power this device. You do have an option. There is a switch right here that you can flip back and forth. You do have to put 2 wires going in from your track. So from your DCC bus, you have to put that in there so that it can accept commands coming off of your layout. And you can run power from that, but I chose not to. I didn't want to take the chance of having any slowdowns or any jerky motion with either the tortoises or the locomotives. So I'm keeping the power for mine separate. So all the tortoises are running technically on DC power. It's being converted in there. And it's just getting instruction from the layout. The other question that I had was about these incandescent bulbs. So EJ and Jeff asked me to do a little more in-depth on these things. So I am using these as basically circuit breakers. So I've got my main track, my DCC bus, coming in from my command station, going into this terminal block. And then what I did is I wired these bulbs. Let me turn the lights down here so maybe you can see a little better. On the back bottom, we'll say the nipple of these bulbs, I soldered a single wire to each one, and then I ganged them in and tied that directly into the DCC bus. So they're getting power directly from the bus. On the sides of these bulbs, I soldered another wire, and those are going to 3 other terminal blocks that are separate from the DC bus. Then on the other side, there are 3 wires that are going out from there that are supplying my sub-bus, we'll call it. And these are my 1, 2, 3 lines that are going to be my 3 tracks underneath the layout. Obviously, it's power for 1, power for the 2nd, power for the 3rd, and then they all run and connect off of the black wire, which is the 2nd track. So I just wanted to show you real quick. I'm going to jump up here on the top deck. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a quick set of tweezers, all metal. And now that I have power up here on my track, I'm just going to take these and place it across. I'm waiting to hear the buzz. There we go. And then if you notice when you come down here, the incandescent bulb is on. And that is telling me that there is a short somewhere on my track. Now, as I explained before, I have my layout broken out into sections. So I have a sub bus under each one. So from that terminal block underneath, I got another set of cables going to the next section, to another terminal block, which has another 3 lights, and then the same thing for another block. So when I have a short, I will know exactly which section it's in and exactly which track it's on. So I can quickly identify where the problem is. So this beats buying those circuit breakers, because as I said, the ones that I got, I do have 2 right now from NCE, and they are expensive. The ones from NCE are actually reasonable. They're like maybe 20, 25 bucks, something like that. But I've got 2 on my lower deck right now, controlling my car yard and my Helix, and I'm having issues with them. They have this option where if it gets a short, it's supposed to shut off the breaker and then reset after 2 seconds. It does that, but on the 3rd reset, for some reason, it is letting the short travel back into my booster, and it shuts the booster down, and it's not supposed to do that. So I'm in talks with NCE to try and find out what's going wrong. Do I have bad circuit breakers, or is there a problem with my wiring? I'll give you an update on that as soon as I hear something. But for now, these incandescent bulbs seem to be doing the trick. So I got to give a shout out to Ron Marsh of Ron's Trains and Things, because that's where I got the idea. I can't take credit on this one, guys. This is all Ron. So thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. It's working. It's running. And I got no problems so far. So with all that being said, yeah, I know I stole that. That's all I got for today. Like I said, I'm going to keep them short. So I think I went through my list. I covered everything I wanted to. Other than that, thank you guys again for stopping in, checking out what I got going on. Thank you for sharing the channel with everyone else. This community is awesome. Learning so much from you guys, from everyone's videos. I try and catch them all as soon as they pop up. I've got all my notifications on. If you saw anything in the video that you would like a better explanation on, definitely hit me up in the comments. Again, like and subscribe and tell everybody you know that I'm here and I've got a layout. And oh, last thing, I connected, now that you know that I've got power going to my switch junction, I also wanted to share with you that I now have my Helix connected to the main line. So guess what I did for 2 hours yesterday? That's right, people. I ran trains. I had a train going all the way around through the reversing loop on the top deck, going down the Helix and around the reversing loop down there. And I got a couple track issues that I got to look into. But other than that, man, it was train city around here. So, again, thanks, guys, for watching. Thanks for checking in with me. Any questions or comments, definitely drop them below. And hit me up if there's anything you need to know. For now, Rick's out. Appreciate everything. See you guys soon.